So the first one, what we are going to see it is, network, right? So the topic is networking. What is simply to say network? Network means connection of devices, interconnection of two or more devices. We call it as a network. Like you are connected devices, so you created a network. Now you want to communicate between the devices. Why we are connecting the devices? To communicate. One second. Okay. So to communicate between the devices, what we require is IP address. First is they need to be connected. Next, they should be configured with the IP address, right? So you already learn IP address, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. So devices need an IP address to communicate. But what is meant by communication? What we do daily, what kind of communications we do it? Web communication, we are accessing different websites. So web-based communication is there. You are sending messages, right? WhatsApp messages. That's a kind of communication. You're sending mails, receiving mails. That is also a kind of communication. Like the different types of communications, we'll do it between the devices. But how these devices understand what kind of communication you are done? So for example, you open a google.com. You open a google.com or facebook.com, youtube.com. Once you open it, what is your request? What you want? You want a web page, or you want to send a mail, or you want to just check the connectivity? So what kind of communication you want? How these systems will understand what kind of communication it is. Okay, it is based on the protocol. So example, you are open a website. For example, I have opened a tpointtech.com. So what is this protocol it is showing here is HTTPS. So this is our www.tpointtech.com server. It's a web server. To that server, I'm sending a request is HTTPS request. The server understand. So someone want a web page, a default web page. So someone want this particular web page from our server side. So they will deliver the web page to us. For example, I click on this Java. For example, you see it is in this server. I want to see the Java-tutorial, that web page I want to see. I send that request, including server name, that URL, which page I want to see, and request is HTTPS. For example, I am going to command prompt. From here, I ping www.tpointtech.com. So now I send a ICMP request. I send a packet name is echo request packet. So I will getting echo response from the destination. But how it will understand it, it has to give that kind of response based on that behind protocol. Being use ICMP protocol. For example, I want to connect that server remotely and access the server files. So I have to use SSH protocol. I have to use SSH protocol and give the remote system IP address or a name, and user password I have to provide it for authentication. So how it will understand this? You want to connect with SSH. It is simple. Okay. So the point is to communicate between the devices depends upon what type of communication you have to use that related protocols. Okay. So these protocols are like this. It is different protocols we use it for different types of communication. Each protocol has a port number. The port number represents what kind of protocol or what type of service they need to be connected and provided. For example, I send HTTP or HTTPS request. So the remote server understand you want to access a web server. Okay. If I send SSH request, the remote server understand you want to access a remote access entire system you want to access and control or a configuration purpose. Okay. If you send SMTP request, then remote system understand you want to send a mail. If it is a mail server, and it will provide that mail service. If it is not a mail server, you drop the packet. Okay. What kind of communication you want to do it? So, like you are going to an office, apply for a job. What you will give? Resume. So people understand you are submitting a resume means you are applying for a job. Okay. You are in a college and you are writing a leave letter to your principal. See what is the leave letter you write. So principal understands, so he is asking for a leave letter, not applying for a job. So for each protocol is representation of certain particular type of communication. So what is it? Define what type of communication it is. You guys understand what is meant by protocol?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll see some common protocols we are using. Okay. There are a lot of protocols and port numbers, some common protocols what we are using. And how to remember these protocols. The first one is HTTP, HTTPS protocol. These two protocols for web communication purpose, website access. HTTP port number is 80, HTTPS port number is 443. What is the difference? It's the most common question in interview. What is the difference between HTTP and HTTPS? HTTPS is a secure. Means what are the data you are transmitting, sending or receiving data is encrypted. In your WhatsApp also you see that's end-to-end encryption, like that. So I can able to view the data on my web browser. Okay, the data is same as in the website, web server also. But while it is sending and receiving, it is encrypted. HTTP not encrypt your data. It sends the same text data, same as it is what are the data you are sending and receiving, same data only, it is not encrypted. So HTTPS means HTTP over SSL. It is encrypted. That's the difference. So mainly the banking website, your email related web mails, communication, banking websites, even certain websites we are use HTTPS mainly. Most of that nowadays, most of the websites are HTTPS only. Okay. Next, FTP protocol, file transfer protocol. So in a remote server, you want to upload a file or download a file. Use FTP protocol. Port number 2021. For certain protocol, only one port number, some protocols having two port numbers. Two port numbers for sending, another one is receiving purpose. Okay. For uploading and downloading files. SSH, TELNET, RDP. These three protocols for remote access purpose. So I have a remote server. I want to access that entire, remote machine is there. I want to access entire that environment, desktop environment from my system. So what is protocol? RDP, remote desktop protocol. 3389 is a port number. SSH and TELNET are a CLI based remote access. CLI based, command line connectivity, not entire desktop, only command line we are connecting for a remote device. Okay. Generally, we use SSH in a Linux based systems or Unix based systems. Okay. Not only that one, so there are several systems we are accessing to SSH. SSH and TELNET both are for remote access. What's the difference is SSH by default encrypted. TELNET by default not encrypted. SSH port number is 22, TELNET port number is 23. Next, we do mail communication, right? So we are sending mails and also we are receiving mails. To send mail, we use SMTP protocol. So you compose the mail, you put a to address, from address, and click on send. So the data with the protocol request is SMTP. Remote server understand, remote mail server understand. You are sending a mail to some user. POP3 IMAP for receiving mails. So you open your mail account, you log in, and you will receive the mails to your system, right? So your system send a request, a POP3 request or IMAP request to the server, mail server. Mail server understand you want to see your mails, your inbox and all mails you want to see. So it will send that data to your system. POP3 port number is 110, IMAP port number is 143. SMTP port number is 25. Okay. SMTP also is outgoing mail server configuration. POP3 and IMAP is incoming mail service. Okay. SMTP, POP3, IMAP version 4. These three protocols for mail communication. SMTP for sending, POP3 or IMAP version 4 for receiving mails. TFTP, Trivial File Transfer Protocol. Port number is 69. This is also for remote purpose only, but remote configurations, remote device configuration, uploading of configuration file or downloading their configuration file means it is already configured. We want to download or we want to back up that configuration file for a safekeeping purpose. We use TFTP protocols. Remote deployments purpose we use TFTP protocol. Next, DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, port number 6768. So you know already IP address, but how your system got an IP address? Generally, for our laptop, mobile phones, or smart TVs, we don't configure IP address, but without configuration, without IP, we can't get connected. But how this IP address we got it? From a DHCP server. Okay. So in generally in your home, you have Wi-Fi router. The Wi-Fi router is act like a DHCP server. Okay. From the DHCP server, you are getting IP address. But what kind of request? If on my laptop, morning I came to office, I've opened my laptop, but I'm on my laptop. So my laptop don't have an IP address. It will get IP address from the DHCP server. But how it is? My laptop will send a request, DHCP request, it will send it. Then it will get an IP address from DHCP server. Okay. So that is DHCP. It is used for assigning IP addresses to the client system automatically. Manually we can configure it, but manual configuration has its own challenges. So we are trying to get an IP address from DHCP. Next is DNS. Port number is 53. Okay, port number is 53. Now, what is this DNS? You open google.com, facebook.com, or youtube.com. Just before I open tpointtech.com, right? I don't know their IP addresses. So all communications by IP address only, not by names. Names only for our understanding purpose, but our original communication is by IP address only. But I don't know google.com IP address. I don't know youtube.com IP address. I don't know facebook.com IP address, right? So how it is, our system will get to know. So when I open this google.com or facebook.com or youtube.com, so what happened? Our system send a request. So for example, I open learn.microsoft.com. Okay. Or maybe I will open a udemy.com. Okay. Or youtube.com or facebook.com. Something I open. So what will happen here? Okay. So what happened here? Our system send a request to the DNS server. I want IP address of google.com. I want IP address of youtube.com. I want IP address of facebook.com. Then the DNS server returns IP address of google.com, IP address of youtube.com, IP address of facebook.com to our system. Now system learns IP address. Our system knows the IP address. Then it will communicate with the IP address only. So what is that? How to ask the DNS server a request? DNS request. It will send a DNS request to DNS server. I want IP address of google.com. I want IP address of youtube.com. Like that. And DNS server understand your request. It gives you IP address of google.com, IP address of youtube.com like that. Okay. So that is DNS protocol. NTP, Network Time Protocol. You see my time is set, right? 10:59 a.m. Okay, 3rd March 2026. I will get this date and time from a time server called time.windows.com. You can click on your time, date and time. So there you can find time and date settings kind of stuff. It's not, this is different. Okay, sorry, not like this. Just right click on the date and time. You can find date and time settings. Depends upon what time zone you set it. Based on that, see, this is my time zone. Plus 5:30 Chennai, Kolkata, Mumbai, Delhi time zone. Based on this time zone, I will get the time from this time.windows.com. Change the time server. See, click on the change. Sometimes an organizations use for their all their organization servers must be connected to organizational time server only. So in generally we use this time.windows.com because we are using Microsoft. Different operating system, different time servers also separately they use it. I'm not changing anything, just to show date and time. So that is what protocol? NTP, Network Time Protocol. It synchronizes the time between the time server to your system based on your time zone selection. Okay, it's very important in a system correct time configurations, because most of the nowadays we are communicating or HTTPS means secure based communication, SSL or TLS based encryption communication we are using. So when time is different, for example, I'm in India, so Indian time zone, and my time is now it is showing 11:45, for example. Time is wrongly configured, 11:45 it is configured, or 5:20, morning 5:20, like that it is configured. It's not a correct time. So certain websites we can't able to access. Okay. So you can try to all the kind of internet troubleshooting, all you will do it. But still we are unable to communicate. You will get a security related errors. Okay. So unsafe websites like that, it will show us. So when you're checking it, maybe there is a possibility of time synchronization. Next. KERBEROS. KERBEROS. KERBEROS and LDAP. These protocols are commonly used for authentication purpose. Authentication and authorization. When you log in to any services, to your system, to network related services, when you are using login, username, password logins, when you're doing it, so someone has to verify that your username and password, then it will be authenticated, then authorized, so then we can able to access. So authentication and authorization purpose, commonly used protocols are KERBEROS and LDAP. Mainly the KERBEROS is for Microsoft Active Directory environment, we use KERBEROS protocol. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. LDAP is a open protocol, guys. Not only in Microsoft, Linux, Unix-based system also use LDAP for authenticating users. Centralized authentication purpose. Centralized authentication purpose. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, mainly used for monitoring purpose. In our organization, we have a lot of devices are there, desktops, laptops, servers, storage devices, networking devices, firewalls, routers, like there's a lot of devices we are having. I want to know what are these devices, what is their status, is on or off, connected, disconnected, what is their processing, okay, how much load on the CPU, RAM, storage, their process, running process information. So I want to get the details into one single system. So I use a monitoring tool for that. From monitoring tools, we can able to get all the devices, their status information. To get that one, we use a protocol is SNMP protocol. Okay. So these are the most common protocols are required to understand. Some of them are most frequently we use it. Okay. So then based on that frequently use, daily using. So first we'll go to see that daily using protocols. Again, what is their port numbers? So you must understand that. Some are only not a protocol, there are direct services are there, like a MySQL database. So I have a server, MySQL database server. Okay, it's a server. I install MySQL server application. So it is become database server. Now from my client, I want to connect that database, not to server. In the server database, I want to connect. To connect it, first we should know the server IP address. We should know the server IP. But in the server, I want to connect to MySQL. Then I have to use MySQL port number 3306 for remote connectivity. Same thing, Oracle database application I installed into a machine, then it is become database server. From my client, I want to connect to that database server. So I need a server IP, the main server IP address. But in the server, what service I want to connect? To the Oracle database service I want to connect. So then I have to use 1521. It's a TNS listener port number for remote connection. Like the different service, like Tomcat commonly used port number 8080. Okay. So like the different protocols use, sorry, different type of services or protocols use different types of port numbers. Then you can understand this websites, email servers, also like that. For example, there is a web server, means there is a machine installed with a web server related application in it. Now it is become web server application installed. So it is become web server. So I want to connect that web server. I have to access that website. So what I need, that server IP I need it, and the service is web services, right? So I need a server IP. But in the server, what service I want to connect? Web. So then I have to use protocol HTTP or port number is 80. Like I have a one server is there. Maybe it is running or not. I don't know. Machine is running or not. You have to check it. Morning only I delete yesterday. No, morning only I deleted that certain things. Again I recreated. So I got some kind of error, but this is a machine. In this machine, I want to connect this N8 N services, that is that service related port number. Okay, it's only for local access only. Okay, but so it is what service it has to be connected. It will be by port number. What IP address of the machine. This is the service related port number. N8N port number. Okay. Application is N8N. This is a search engine which is running in this particular machine. This is the machine IP address. This service available in this port number. Okay. So to communicate with the machine, we need their IP address. To communicate this a particular service running in that machine, we need their port number or protocol name. So that is what it is. I open that, just closed. Guys, understand different protocols and port numbers?
Yes, sir.
So we are accessing
Sir, I have a
daily
question.
website. Yeah, tell me.
Sir,
Yeah.
hello.
I'm
Sir,
audible.
in SNMP, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, my question is in SNMP, how many versions are there in?
SNMP in
Yes,
this
sir.
one. Okay. SNMP, I think it is version 2 or version 3 of SNMP, but we don't talk in the version wise. It is
Okay.
version 3. 1, 2, 3. Version 3 current one. So the small differences. Encryption is there in a version 3. Mainly for managing network, securing, and mainly this is monitoring purpose. Understand? Very good. Very good question.
Okay, sir.
Very good. Yeah. Again, guys, what we are using daily. First, we'll discuss that one. Remaining things we'll see. So we are accessing website daily. So HTTP, HTTPS. Port number 80, port number 44. We are sending mails, SMTP, POP3, IMAP. We are sending, receiving mails, right? For sending SMTP, for receiving POP3 or IMAP. Mostly we are using IMAP version 4 protocol for receiving purpose. Okay. Next, we are getting IP address, right? Whenever you connect a network for your smart TVs or for your mobile phone, laptop, you are connected to your Wi-Fi router, so you are getting an IP address. From what service we are getting? From DHCP service, DHCP server assigning IP. So daily you are getting IP. Okay, without IP you can't communicate. Otherwise you have to configure manually. You are accessing different websites with their names. You don't know their IP address. But how we are getting an IP address? From DNS server. What request? DNS request you are sending and DNS response you are getting. Okay. So these are barriers. Of course, we'll come again. Remote access. Of course, directly we are not using remote access, but remote access. A Linux system is there. I want to connect the Linux system from my system. Or I want to, so then I can able to configure the remote Linux machine. Or maybe I want to access a Windows system from my system. For example, MSTSC. This is remote desktop connection. In this, so same server. Just before I open this certain kind of website, right? So same system, their username, and try to connect it. If password is already given, then it is works. Otherwise, you have to give password again. More choices. Yes, it is encrypted. This is that remote system entire desktop environment. This one. Morning only I started. Meanwhile, are not feeling well. That's okay. This is that system. This is my system. This is my system desktop. This is that system desktop. Push protocol, RDP, remote desktop protocol. Entire desktop environment I can able to view from here, and I can able to work on it also. I can able to change, work, or anything I can able to do it. So currently running this some Docker containers there. That's we are trying to connect, right, like this. Okay. So here only, from here only we are accessing the websites. Okay. So this is remote desktop protocols. Okay. This entire desktop environment. So say it is a port number is 3389. SSH telnet. It's not entire desktop. It is you are connecting to a terminal kind of stuff. It means CLI based connectivity. So user connected to remote server by CLI based, and we can configure it. We can install some packages, uninstalling, managing, like that we can do it. SSH by default encrypted, telnet is not encrypted one. Network time protocol. Again, this is also we are daily using without knowing ourselves, we are using. For your mobile phone or laptop, we are setting up the time and date and time we are setting based on the your time zone configured. From which server? NTP servers. Generally, our system, Windows system, will get IP address from time.windows.com server. Okay. Remote logins. So network-based accesses, network-based login, centralized authentication purpose, use KERBEROS and LDAP protocols. Monitoring purpose, use SNMP protocol. Remote configuration, upload or download entire configuration file. You want to upload or download or backup your remote configuration. Also use TFTP protocol. Okay. FTP. We are uploaded files and downloaded files to remote server. FTP server. If remote server is FTP server, then we can upload a file and download a file from that server. These are database servers. But my point is, at least if you remember, based on what you are using regularly, website, mail communication, okay, DHCP, DNS, IP address related communication. So that is quite easy. Some people do mistake like they try to remember based on the port number sequence, 20, 22, 23, 24 like that. But best is always is based on usage. What is the type of communication? For that communication, what kind of protocol we are using. Okay. Okay, guys, protocols. There is a message. There is a message. So one more we'll discuss what is TCP and UDP. Then we'll take small break. Then we'll come back to the OSI model. We'll go to the OSI because in OSI, we can also discuss this TCP and UDP there, but it is become bigger. Generally, these protocols and TCP UDP differences I will explain in the OSI model. Also, we can do it, but better it is separate because we discuss about protocols, right? Some protocols are TCP type protocol, some are UDP type protocols. Okay. Example, you take HTTP protocol. This HTTP or HTTPS protocols are TCP type protocols. The HTTP. Stay. TFTP. Some examples. SMTP. Okay. Like this. Certain protocols are TCP type protocol. Protocol is TCP type protocol. Some protocols are UDP protocol. Example, TFTP. DHCP, DNS. But DNS, both are there. DNS TCP, DNS UDP. DNS is both in place. Depends upon the what kind of name resolution between the devices. Okay. So only to the your device or maybe another record based communication like that. So depends upon what to what communication based on what from one system to another system DNS query based. It use TCP sometimes UDP it is. Again, certain protocols, what are the protocols we discussed? Some are TCP type, some are UDP type protocol. If you are using a TCP type protocol, TCP type protocol are reliable protocols. TCP type protocols are reliable protocols. UDP protocols are non-reliable protocols. Non-reliable protocols. Reliable? Not. TCP type protocols called connection oriented. TCP type protocols are connection oriented protocol. UDP protocols are called connection less protocols. Connection oriented, connection less protocols. TCP protocols are little slower than UDP protocols. TCP protocols, acknowledgement based protocol. UDP don't use acknowledgement. So what is this? Why it is reliable? What is meant by connection oriented? Generally, some people mistakenly understand connection oriented means it is a wide based communication. Connectionless means wireless based communication. No, guys. No. Okay. Connection oriented. Connectionless is little different. Reliability, non-reliability. So what it is? Like any communication, right? There is a source and destination, right? Any communication is there is a source and there is a destination. Source send data to destination. Means source send a packet to the destination. Once destination received a packet, So it will give an acknowledgement for this packet. So destination receive this acknowledgement, understand source receive this acknowledgement from the destination. It understand destination is received. Again, source send a packet, destination is received, and destination send an acknowledgement. Okay, destination send the acknowledgement. So source understand, yes, this packet is received by destination. For example, source send a packet. Destination is received or not, we don't know, but it is failed to get a acknowledgement. This acknowledgement not received by source. Source not received a acknowledgement from destination. So what happens? Source send a packet to destination. Destination send an acknowledgement to the source, and source understand that packet is received by destination. If the destination not received a packet, so it won't send acknowledgement. Or even destination received it, but it's failed to send an acknowledgement, or acknowledgement is not received by source. What it will think? Destination packet is not received. So what it will do? It will send that packet again. So this is called a correction. It will again send that packet. So what packet is missed? That packet again it will send. The source understand destination is received. So source not received acknowledgement from the destination. It thinks destination is not received. It will send the packet again. That's why it is called a reliable protocols. TCP type protocols are reliable because we know the destination is received. What is connection oriented? Source, before sending a data, it checks the destination is available or not. If destination is available, you can send it. Okay. So to verify the destination is available or not. That's it is connection oriented. Acknowledgement based. Of course, source get to know the destination is received based on the acknowledgement only. Guys, understand TCP protocols? Transmission control protocols.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next is UDP, User Datagram Protocols. Same, we'll see source and destination. Source not check destination is available or not. Source simply send the packet to the destination. And source send the packet to destination. Even destination not give any acknowledgement. So source don't know destination is receiving or not also. Okay. Generally, broadcast based communications use by UDP. Broadcast based communication or a multicast based communications. That type of protocols use that type of protocols comes under UDP. Okay. The source send a packet to destination. In case of destination not received a packet, source don't know. It keep on sending next packets on. In case of any error at a destination occurs, then again source will send that related packets on. When specific packet is not received, again source will be send it, but it is keep on sending. In that one, destination will collect the packets, keep on collecting the packets, arrange the packets, a destination. Okay. So we don't use any acknowledgements here. Non-reliable because of source don't know, destination is received or not. Non-reliable. Connectionless, whether source is there or not. Sorry, destination is there or not, connected or not, like that we don't know. So source don't know, destination is received or not. Okay, that is non-reliable connectionless protocols it is. Okay, some protocols are TCP type, some are UDP type. You can search in a Google also, type it like this. What are the protocols and their port numbers and TCP UDP? Then you will get the list of different protocols, their port numbers, whether it is TCP type or UDP type. So you can also view that kind of stuff. Some protocols are TCP, some are UDP type protocols. Here it is. Transmission control protocol, user datagram. This also become more common question. What's the difference between TCP and UDP? In OSA also, we will going to discuss about that. Means instead of explaining totally what is this protocol, where we are come use protocol, where this TCP UDP comes in the picture. So that is we'll discuss. Okay. Let's understand protocols TCP UDP.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Take a small break, guys. 10 minutes of break. So then